They are saying that for the last 20 years we have participated as voter in, let's say, a number of elections, 10, 20, they are saying. Why are you suddenly, with these kind of questions you are asking us, which these kinds of documents you are asking from us, which we do not have?
What your lordships have before you are a section of is a set of people who write articles about the elections and then come forward to file a writ petition.
If I am born after 1950, I shall be a citizen of India. If somebody wants to challenge that, somebody has to give me information that I am not.
Lordship, just
One second. This is the problem. Now, the only reason why I can't be citizen of India is if one of my parents' mothers is either illegal migrant mothers or I don't have the date of birth of the two parents' mothers. Now, mothers, where will I get that? And then, mothers, when the migrant is outside of the state, mothers, he has to come and fill this form. How will he, mothers, fill it from outside? And then there is a verification done. The person election officer will go to that house and verify. Maras, you will be there are 1 crore people, Maras, who are migrants from Bihar.
Adding to this,
1 crore people. I mean, how? This exercise is beyond the domain of the Election Commission completely.
Let's say
May I
that.
read one rule? May I read one rule that has not yet been read?
Please don't.
just a minute. My lords, as Dr. Singhvi said and Mr. Sibal has said, there is a citizenship screening. It is not all citizens. The design, the mechanics and the scheme is actually going to disproportionately, Article 14 squarely comes in here, on the poor, on the migrant, on those who will be affected by floods very shortly. It is those people who cannot hold these documents, and their own data shows that. So this is not just an ordinary citizenship screening. It is for the vulnerable categories. Where will transgender persons bring this? Where will orphans bring these documents? There are a whole category of migrant workers working across the country. Why are they being excluded? And once I'm not on the electoral roll, you will then trigger the forest tribunals with this.
Already disempowered will be disenfranchised.
Yes.
It's an exclusionary process, not an inclusion.
Mr. Dwivedi, there are 3 things where you have to answer. There is no question that the issue before this court is an important issue. It hits at goes to the very root of democracy. You know, it's a right of a vote. They are challenging not only the powers of Election Commission to do it, they are also challenging the procedure in which it is all going, what you are following and what you are not following. And third, they are also challenging the timing. So these 3 things you have to keep in mind and answer.
Power is the main thing. If the Election Commission doesn't have power, Lord, to prepare a roll or to revise the roll, then, Lords, we have to find some other body, Lords, which has to, because Article 320.
It is their query. You answered that.
I never respond to Lord unless the Lordship puts a query to it. The Lordships have only summarized 3 submissions which came from them. So please take all what I say, Lord, as a response to them, Lords. So if my learned friends are right in saying that we don't have power to prepare the electoral roll or to revise the electoral roll, notwithstanding the mandate of Article 324, and if I may conjointly read Lord 325 to 328, enfranchisement which they are apprehending.
They are not directly saying that, of course, you are the body superintendent's direction and control vests with the Election Commission, and it has been said in the law of Punnu Swami, MS Gill, so many. Continuously. But they are saying right now what is happening is, what is being undertaken by you is neither a summary revision or an intensive revision. It is some kind of a special intensive revision, something not there in the book. We will not even go by the book.
We'll keep aside the
Special
nomenclature, my Lord.
Nomenclature, let's say intensive. Let's say intensive revision. Fair enough. Now this, they are saying you are undergoing, and what you are actually questioning now is citizenship.
I'll come to that. Allow me to come to it later. I have no.
To that extent.
I appreciate, Lords. I note. Now, just look, Lords, let me state at the very outset that the Election Commission is one constitutional body which has direct relationship with the elector.
With the
Elector,
elector.
the voter. If the voters are not there, Lord, we are non-existent. So we have a live, continuous connection with the voter, and the election commission cannot and does not have any intent whatsoever to exclude anybody from the voter list unless and until the hands of the commission are compelled, my Lord, by the provision of law itself that you cannot come.
Right.
So, my Lord, let there be no apprehension, my Lord, that we are going to exclude or we have a premeditated mindset and that we are trying to do something which cannot be done within
Absolutely
the time.
correct. For that presumption is in your favor.
Yes,
No questions on that.
I'm grateful.
That's
Now, this is, my Lord, reinforced by two other provisions, 325 and 326, my Lords have noticed.
Yeah, yeah.
325 expressly says that we cannot discriminate on the ground of caste, religion, this, that, etc. This is something similar to Article 15.1 and Article 16.2, which in the context of employment and other aspects, Lord, gives a mandate of a similar kind. Now, this is specifically put in here so that the Election Commission, equally, my Lord, is bound by it. Kindly have 326. The elections to the House of the People and to the Legislative Assembly of every state shall be on the basis of adult suffrage. So we can't include anybody who is less than 18 today because that's the age of majority. That is to say, every person who is a citizen of India and who is not less than 18 years of age on such date as may be fixed in that behalf by or under any law made by the appropriate legislature and is not otherwise disqualified under this constitution or any law made by the appropriate legislature on the ground of non-residence, unsoundness of mind, crime or corrupt or illegal practice shall be entitled to be registered as a voter. So constitution itself has taken care of three things. Citizenship should be there, 2, adult, and 3, that he should not be disqualified under any law.
Otherwise disqualified.
3 things. Once these 3 things are fulfilled, every person is entitled to be. Now, what is the presumption, etc., arising on account of their inclusion in the past electoral rolls is a question which is to be addressed separately, which I will respond to.
actually that is the whole question. They are saying that for the last 20 years we have participated as voter in, let's say, a number of election, 10, 20. They are saying, why are you suddenly with these kind of questions you are asking us, which these kinds of documents you are asking from us, which we do not have?
No, that's who is
And
who is saying this before a lordship?
they are saying it.
None of them are the voters there in Bihar.
No, they say
So what is the basis? You get the response. So what your lordships have before you are a section of is a set of people who write articles about the elections and then come forward to file a writ petition. So I'm sorry, my lord.
Mr. Dwivedi, don't touch
No,
on
I'm
that.
taking a serious objection. I'm taking a very serious objection, and my lords have, in the case of ADR, recently deprecated ADR for doing this, and the same thing has been done by ADR once again. They pick up the articles, 4 articles from there, and they file a petition, and some my lord questions are thrown. However, my lord, keep that aside. I'm serious about
You're
it.
serious.
I'm very serious, but keep
46, item 46, Akhtarul Imam is a voter in the constituency.
just please. Or PUCL is not a voter. PUCL is not a voter.
Anyway,
No, I'm sorry, my lord. This court, they are asked who is.
It's not a serious objection. Mr. Dwivedi, this is not one of your best points, right? So let us move to other points.
Item 46 is an MLA and a voter.
Oh, it is.
Sir,
Akhtarul Imam is an MLA and
Sir,
a voter in the constituency.
sir,
So,
it is one of the points. There are more compelling points with Mr. Dwivedi.
it is not one of the strongest point, but look
But
at
it is a point. Yes.
But on such a small point, you are agitating.
What reaction you have got?
What if he brings his stronger point?
Strongest point.
He's in his island.
So election commission, as an election commission, my lord, will not depend upon this alone. I'm not saying that because of this throughout. Please examine and tell us also, my lords, if something needs correction somewhere. So election commission is not. Therefore, we are for the voters, for the electors, and anything which comes from the court, my lord, would be acceptable to the commission, even otherwise. There's no option.